Hi, I'm Sarah Barguirdjian and welcome to this yoga class where I'm going to be taking you for a lovely long journey around the hips. We're going to start lying down, doing poses to open up and bring flexibility into the hips, and then we'll build on that flexibility and put in some strength in standing poses so that you're nicely balanced between being flexible and having nice mobility in your hips, as well as strength and sturdiness and longevity as well. Please begin by lying down. And to do that, make sure that your knees are bent as you come down. It's a little bit nicer for your lower back and safer for your lower back. And cross your right leg over your left leg with no gaps. Pick up your legs and bring your hands on top of your knees. If this is too tough for you, then just keep your foot on the floor. If you have got your hands on your knees, then work very slowly and gently towards bringing your knees up. Sometimes I see people in class just yanking their legs up really quickly, and usually that will be okay, but sometimes it can lead to too much pulling going on, particularly in this top hip here. We want to be gentle with ourselves. So as you stay here for a little bit longer, make sure that you're holding your hands firmly enough onto your knees, but not too firmly in that you're creating tension in your hands, and completely relax your shoulders. Then from here, take your hands away, bring your left foot to the floor, pick your bottom up, scooch it over to the right, and slowly bring your legs down to the left. You might need to pick up that left foot off the floor and then turn your legs. Now, you don't have to bring your knees down to touch the floor. In fact, I want you to try and keep your right shoulder on the floor here. So there's some control going on in the legs. You're not just letting your legs flop down and turning over to the left. Put a little squeeze into the backs of your knees. Push your feet down into the floor and push your top hip away from you. So you're actively creating length down the left and the right side in particular, of your lower back and your waist. A couple more breaths here. Try and keep your breathing smooth and calm and continuous. Nice and evenly distributing the energy around your body. Now pick up your legs. Scoot your bottom back to the center of your mat, uncross the right leg and cross the left leg over. And again, slowly draw the knees towards the center of your chest, or you can keep the right foot on the floor and just stay with that. Again, just put enough effort into the holding with your hands as needed, no more than necessary, and relax your shoulders. Take your hands away, bring the backs of your hands to the floor, your right foot down, move your bottom to the left, and then again pick up that right foot and bring the right foot up towards your bottom as you drop your knees somewhat over to the right. If you're flexible enough for your knees to touch the floor and your left shoulder to remain down, then by all means do that. Most of us are going to have to keep some strength, some lift in the legs. So I recommend you, again, squeeze the backs of your knees, push your feet down. And with that slight leg engagement, it's not 100%, but that slight leg engagement, you can keep the weight of your legs lifted up away from the floor and roll your top hip, your left hip, towards your feet. So you're not chilling out here. This is quite an active hold. But again, without any tension or stress that isn't part of helping the pose. Anything that you're glitching and holding anywhere in your body, even including your hands, try and let that soften, let it go. Then from here, pick your knees up, uncross that left leg, bring your bottom back to center, and draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder and lengthen your left leg long down the mat. And have that left leg nice and straight and strong as you can make it, with the toe tips and the kneecap pointing up. Now put a little bit of a flex into your foot. Push the heel away from you and the toenails towards you. So you're doing a dorsiflexion in the foot and in the ankle. Then coming into half happy baby, bend your left knee, bring the foot to the floor, then reach your right arm inside the knee, bring your hand to the outside of the little toe edge of that right foot. You can keep your left foot on the floor. This is a little bit more easier, a little bit more accessible, or lengthen your leg again, long down the mat. Now push your right foot up towards the ceiling, just gently, with about 40% of your effort, and pull the hand down. So you're trying here to create a right angle in the knee, and your right knee is over to the right side of your mat. You may well be a little bit more like this, that's fine, but over time, with more and more yoga practice, you'll be able to come into this kind of upside down lunging action of this right leg. Okay, now let's change sides. Release the right foot, bring it to the floor and the left foot. Scoot your bottom back to center if it wavered off in any way. Then from here, draw your left knee in, lengthen your right leg long down the mat. And again, that straight leg, make it straight and strong. Turn the inner thigh slightly down towards the floor. Then engage, do that dorsiflexion, engage this left foot, even separate the toes a little bit. And make sure that you're drawing that left knee towards the left a little bit. It's not going into the center of your chest. Now setting up for half happy baby, bend your right knee again, and then bring your arm inside the left knee and your hand to the outside of the left foot. Option to keep your right foot on the floor or lengthen it long down the mat. Move a little bit around here with that left leg in the hip socket so that you've found a comfortable position, or relatively comfortable, with what feels right. And again, play around with those opposing forces of pushing your left foot up, but the hand holds onto that foot and guides it back down. Then from here, come into Supta Bada Konasana. So release that left foot, bring the soles of your feet together. Maybe scooch your bottom a little bit closer towards your heels here, if that's okay for you. And let gravity gently draw your knees down towards the floor as you lengthen your adductor muscles, your inner thigh muscles. And here, you've got an option for your arms. You can bring your arms into cactus arms with your palms facing up and your elbows bent at right angles, or stretch your arms straight into Urdhva Hastasana, bringing your thumbs towards the floor behind your head. Try and straighten your arms as much as you can here. I'm going to stay here for about 20 more seconds. So nice sort of long holds here as you're on the floor. A few more breaths. And try and make that breathing action very steady and calm. Don't breathe any more deeply than is comfortable. You don't want to start gasping for breath here. Just steady, even breaths that are a comfortable cadence. Now from here, if your hands are overhead, bring them down by your sides. You can use your hands to draw your legs towards each other and flip over onto your tummy. We're going to stretch the thighs a little bit here. So come onto your right forearm with your right palm down and try and have the elbow underneath your shoulder and bend your left leg. Now point the foot here, so you're doing a plantar flexion in the sole of the foot. Reach around with your left hand and very gently and slowly draw the heel towards the center of your buttock, and it doesn't by any means need to come close. You may even find that, I find particularly with the quadricep muscles, they can be a little bit unpredictable. One day I can draw the heel right in, and then the next day maybe not so close. These muscles can become tight or more compliant and elastic on a sort of day-to-day basis, I find, depending on what you've been doing. If you've been cycling or running, perhaps the next day they might be a little bit tighter. Okay, let's change side. So release that left foot. Bring your left arm down to the floor now. Pick up the right. Try not to have the right knee going out to the right here. You want both thighs to be pretty much parallel to each other. And then again, slowly and with interest, draw the heel in towards the center of that right buttock, whilst you keep your chest pretty much lifted. And keep pressing your tailbone down towards the floor. So you might even feel that your lower belly slightly lifts up as you press that tailbone down. Then release that leg and come into cobra. Bring your hands by the sides of your ribs. Squeeze your legs, push your toenails down and lift up your chest. Press your shoulder blades towards each other. So now we're putting a little bit more strength into the upper body. And come into downward facing dog. You might need to position yourself a little bit more towards the front of the mat like I'm doing. Press back. Push your hands forward. Nod your head yes a couple of times, and then let your head just hang where it naturally slows down to. Then bring your feet together and raise your right leg behind you. Step that right foot forward between your hands and bring your back heel down for warrior two. Bring your left arm up and overhead and look over your right hand. So now your hips are pretty open and prepared from all the work that you just did lying down. Try and lengthen that right inner thigh so the knee points straight ahead, and squeeze your back leg straight. And you might find that you can bend that front knee a little bit more, keeping the back leg straight. If not, then by all means open up a little bit more and raise up your hips. But try and come perhaps a little bit further into this warrior two pose than you can normally do. And make sure that your shoulders are over your hips rather than coming forwards. A couple more breaths here. So we're staying a little bit longer now. We're doing this strength work and this cohesion work in the hip joints. And come into side angle pose. So bend your right elbow, turn the palm up, turn your left palm up and bring it over your head, and lean back a little bit here so that your legs really have to engage, and press your front foot towards your back foot so that the back of your leg, your hamstring muscles really tone. Then come back to downward facing dog. So look down, pick up your hands, pick up the back heel, touch down, step back, bring your feet together and raise your left leg up. Step that left foot forward between your hands, bring your back heel down, again Virabhadrasana 2. Pick up the right hand, bring it over your head just so that your shoulder gets a little bit more preparation for side angle pose, which is coming next. And again, play around. I quite like to sort of bend and straighten that left knee, the front knee, a little bit, kind of testing the waters. Again, push down strongly with the little toe edges of both of your feet. And put ease into the pose where you feel you might be holding tension unnecessarily. Then bend your left elbow, pause for Konasana, side angle pose. Turn the back palm up. Again, lean back a little bit here, but make sure that your feet are well planted. So push down through the bases of your big toes. Stretch here with your right arm. Squeeze that back leg straight. Then slowly, steadily, calmly make your way back to downward facing dog. Pick up your back heel, touch down, step back. Then one more grouping or coupling of a couple of poses that are, again, building resilience and strength in your hips. Step your left foot a little closer to the right and pick your right leg up. Step your right foot forward. This time you're going to bring your back knee down. Sweep your arms forward and bring your arms up overhead. Press your front foot towards your back knee and get a feeling of dragging your back knee forward. For Anjaneyasana, lift your chin and bring your hands together. This is optional. If you prefer to keep your hands apart or even on your hips, do that. Now, if you have raised your chin and brought your hands together, separate your hands and look forward. And as you push your feet down, make sure your back toes are tucked under. Pick up your back knee. 3, just keep looking forwards here. 2, squeeze your bottom. 1, look down, touch down, step back. Move your right foot a little closer to the left. Inhale, raise that right leg up and back. And as you exhale, step that foot forward between your hands. Dush. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Pick your left leg up. Step it in between your hands. Bring your back knee down. Anjaneyasana. Sweep your arms forward and up. Options here for the arms. Lift your chin. Bring your hands together. Or just keep gazing forward, or even just keep your hands on your hips. Separate your hands, look forward. Inhale, pick up the back knee. So simple crescent warrior shape here. Again, see if you can maybe bend that front knee a bit more, keeping the back leg straight. Slowly touch down. Come back to downward facing dog. Come forward into plank. Bring your knees to the floor. Come all the way down and come into bow pose, Dhanurasana. So again, point both of your feet, pick your hands up, grab the fronts of your ankles, lift, press your knees towards each other, lift your chin. 3, 2, and 1. Let go. Turn over, back onto your back, and come into Shavasana. Bring your hands to the floor and rest. It's going to be a short Shavasana, so make it a good one. Completely soften, let go, and be held. Now bend your knees one leg at a time and roll over onto your right side. Pause here and bring your attention to your hip area, all around your pelvis and your legs. Notice how you feel there, how the energy is moving, distributing itself, how it's flowing. How does it make you feel when you notice that? And push down with your left hand, then your right. Sit up nice and tall. And then bring your hands into heart center. Lower your chin so it touches your fingertips. Release your hands, bring them down onto your legs. Lift your chin, open your eyes. Namaste.